wanted a dog for as long as I can remember. I just remember being younger, and every chance I got to ask for a dog, I would take advantage of it. Every Christmas list, every birthday list, I was like, can I have a dog? Can I have a puppy? And it never worked. I was just constantly begging my mom, and she wanted no part of it. One year, I was probably 11 years old, and of course I had begged for a dog and failed. So I was like, alright, well, what about a cat? Because I just wanted a pet. I mean, I had no pets. So I asked about a cat, and my mom agreed to it, which was great. So we drove to the Animal Rescue League in Bedford, and we looked for a cat. And that day we found Lucky, who was just the cutest little cat there. He was just so sweet, and I was so happy to have a pet. Even though I still always wanted a dog, it was just so great having Lucky. Fast forward to July of this past year, so July of 2013, I had a big sort of change in my life, and I moved into my own apartment. I put that in quotes because technically I live in the same house. We own a two-family home, and I just moved in downstairs, but it definitely is my own apartment. It's my own space, and it's awesome down here. But per my mother's rule, whoever moved out first was going to take the cat. So I got lucky, and we came downstairs, and it was great. He was my little roomie. But not long after I moved in downstairs, it was obvious to all of us that something was wrong with Lucky. I think initially we all just kind of thought he was homesick. You know, he had lived upstairs for 6 years, and now being down here, we all just kind of thought that he didn't want to be down here. But it quickly became apparent that he was more than just homesick. So we ended up making an appointment for him to go to the vet, and a few days later we heard from the vet. Pretty much anything that could be wrong with him was wrong, and he was just really sick, and it was really, really sad. You know, the vet kind of gave us our options, two of which involved spending thousands of dollars on something that really might work but might not work, and you know, another option was putting him down, obviously, and the other option was if we do nothing, Lucky probably has a week left to live. And when we got that news, it was just devastating. You know, we had never put an animal down. Lucky was really the only pet that we ever owned, so it was just a really tough couple of days. We got that call on a Friday, I think, and then for the next few days after that, it was just like, you know, what do we do? But then by that Wednesday, we all made the decision that we should probably put him down. And so that Wednesday is what we did. Life without a pet quickly became very boring and very lonely. You know, now I was down here in my new apartment, and I didn't even have my cat to keep me company. And it just sucked. People had suggested, like, oh, go here to look for a cat, or, you know, try this place to look for another cat. And I just remember being like, no, I don't want another cat. I don't want to replace Lucky. Obviously, like, I would never do that. I can't even imagine replacing Lucky. But quickly the light bulb in my head went off, like, oh my god, I can get a dog, right? Like, I live on my own now? My mom can't say no? And I even double checked with her. I was even like, hey, I can get a dog, right? Living downstairs? And she agreed to it. So immediately I was so excited. I was like, I just wanted to get right into it and look into researching it, and I wanted to do it very, you know, very methodically in a very organized way. So I remember I opened up a Word document and I made my own little document, and I called it Dogs. And I decided what I wanted to do was list all the breeds I was interested in, and then research them and look at their pros and cons, and, you know, just write a little blurb about them on this Word document. So I did. I looked up Papillons, I looked up Beagles, I looked up Dachshunds, I looked up Shetland Sheepdogs, and I looked up Golden Retrievers. And like I said, I listed all their pros and cons, And then at the end of the document, I was going to rank the breeds from ones I wanted the most to ones I wanted the least. And, you know, depending on which would be the best fit for me and which would be the not the greatest fit for me. And I did a lot of research. And by the time I finished researching and I was doing the rank, I didn't even really need to finish the ranking because I knew which dog I wanted the most. That was a golden retriever. That has just always been my favorite dog, and that was the dog that I wanted. So I started to do more research, and I looked into golden retrievers, and I mean, I can't even tell you how many websites I looked into. I had the perfect little plan in my head. Like, I wanted a litter that was born in October, so then when they were 8 weeks old, it would be December, and I would have an uninterrupted month to just be with them because I wouldn't be in school and I could just train the puppy, and I had this perfect plan in my head. But it didn't take long for my plan to completely dissolve into nothing because, you know, I had found a few breeders with litters that were due in the fall, and I got really excited. So I emailed them and I was like, "Hi, my name's Jackie. You know, I'm looking into golden retriever puppies, blah blah blah. How much are your puppies?" And every response I got back was, "Hi Jackie, puppies are $1,500. Puppies are $2,000. Puppies are $2,100. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, I could not believe how expensive they were. And even with, you know, family members offering to help and to pitch in, and I still was like, there's no way I can afford that. There's no way that I can spend that much on just the puppy, let alone the supplies, let alone the vet visits. Like, there's just no way. So I quickly became very, very discouraged about the whole thing. You know, after getting so excited about doing my research and being like, oh, this is gonna happen, suddenly for it to be like, yeah, nope, I was really, really devastated. And just sort of wanted to be like, all right, well, I give up, you know, I'm not going to have a dog. And all of this was on August 29th. And that was just, yeah, that was just a bad day. But the next day, August 30th, I was determined to not be so miserable about the whole thing and, you know, not to give up because obviously I really wanted a dog. And, you know, I had remembered my mom telling me, like, Jackie, it's like wanting a new car and wanting a Mercedes. Like, you don't need the fanciest car out there. You just need a car to get you from point A to point B. And so the golden retriever is, you know, it's like the Ferrari, it's like the Mercedes of dogs. Like, you can get it later on in life, but just because you can't get it now doesn't mean you won't ever get it. So, you know, she suggested looking into shelters, which I had done a little bit before. And to be honest, I just wanted no part of what I was seeing. You know, it was all pit bulls and these mutts and these terrier mixes and stuff that I just wasn't interested in, you know? But I was like, you know what? I'll just give it another shot. I'll look into more shelters and I'll like really dig through my research on the internet and make sure I, you know, look at every single website to see if I can find anything. So that morning I did that. I Googled, I think, Animal Rescue Leagues in New Hampshire. And I came across the website for the Salem Animal Rescue League, which I hadn't looked at before. And I saw this puppy. She was chocolate brown, a year old. She was a Boykin Spaniel. She was adorable. Her name was Brownie. And even in her picture on the website, she was posing with a box of brownies. And I just instantly fell in love. I thought she was so adorable and just so perfect, and I couldn't believe that a dog like that was even available at a shelter. Like, I just, like I said, I instantly fell in love. But as quickly as I got all excited about it, I also immediately kind of got discouraged because, you know, I had that plan in the back of my head of I want to get a dog in December when I have a month off to just be with it, to train it. And, you know, I remember thinking, like, there's no way Brownie will be available then. It's August 30th. She's not going to still be around in December. So I was sort of battling with myself about, you know, being really excited about it and then being like, don't get excited about it, Jackie. You know, I remember standing in the bathroom and looking in the mirror and, like, talking to myself and being like, don't get excited about this, Jackie. Like, you always get your hopes up for things and they don't work out. It's just obvious that the timing isn't right now. You know, there will be other brownies. So a few hours later, when I saw my stepdad that morning, I told him about it because I was just so excited still. I was like, I need to show you something. And I brought him in, I showed him my laptop and the picture of Brownie, and I just showed him the website, and he was like, let's call them. And I remember being like, what? He's like, let's call them. And I was like, no. And he did. He called a few minutes later, and I remember I like ran into the bathroom because I didn't want to hear any of the conversation. I didn't want to hear them say like, oh, Brownie's not available anymore or anything like that, so I just ran away. And when I came back into the living room, he was still on the phone, but I heard that Brownie was still available and we could even go visit her that day. So I started to like freak out and get so excited, you know. I mean, I just couldn't believe that the day before, when I was so down in the dumps about everything, and now today I was like, you know, we're calling this shelter and this dog is available, we can go visit her, like it's suddenly becoming kind of real and crazy. So yeah, I was just getting like really ridiculously excited. And I remember him saying like, we have to wait for your, you know, I wanted my mom to come with us and she was at work. So I remember him saying like, we'll wait till your mom gets home so we can take the van. And I was like, why do we need the van? He was like, for when we bring the dog home. And I was like, no, like there is no way we are taking this dog home today. Absolutely not. Like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not prepared. I don't have anything. Like, this is not happening today. Well, you can imagine the shock that I felt after, you know, a few hours later, we had gone to the shelter, we had visited with her, and a few hours later we're driving home in the car and I have a dog in my lap. I was just beyond excited. I was beyond, I mean, I still just can't believe how it all happened, you know. It's just absolutely crazy. The change of events from one day to the next, you know, from the day before when I was so upset to a day later I have a dog in my lap and we're driving home and she's mine and I'm a dog owner. It was so crazy. It was so fast how it all happened. I still just can't believe it. And it's funny, like the next day, you know, I had Brownie and I was getting ready in the bathroom and I had the door open and I'm looking in the mirror and this little face comes walking over and she's just looking at me like in the mirror, and I just couldn't believe it, you know, because the day before I was like, there will be other Brownies, it's not going to happen, like, you'll find another dog, and now this dog was looking at me in the mirror and she was mine, and it's been great.